All right, what's up, y'all? Back here in the shop, trying to get everything all done and ready for a season of racing. We got the Black Sheep coming together very nicely. We are waiting on parts to be here tomorrow. When you guys, well, I guess you guys are seeing this video today, so the parts will be here tomorrow, and then we're going to be able to put the rest of the Black Sheep motor together and get it in the car. That thing, thankfully, goes together relatively quick. We got the Red Lobster motor in there, and then we got Slick Rick ready to go to the hub dyno. Just got to mess with the rear gear. So we've been pretty busy with the Stormwork stuff, so we haven't had a lot of time to dedicate to working on the cars in here. Some of you guys will understand that, some of you guys don't, and some of you guys are just like, all you do is make videos in the shop talking. Well, I made a comment yesterday and responding to some people's comments, and he was like, you know, all you do is just stand around and talk and do all this stuff. Well, we work about 18-hour days every single day here, whether we're working on cars here or working on Stormwork or doing stuff with the apparel company or the brand that way. So there's a bunch of moving parts. It's not just, hey, I wake up in the morning, the only thing I have to do is work on race cars. The race cars are a hobby compared to the other work that we do. Marketing tool, obviously we tend to them and try to put as much time into them as we can, but work kind of comes first, so we can't have any of this without the work. So when work calls. So some late nights trying to get stuff done. And for those of you guys that understand like the balance and the juggle, you guys will understand what I'm talking about. For some of you guys that are just clueless or just like, just build the cars, you'd have more subscribers if your cars were built, you got badass. Oh, you know, one, I don't do these videos for subscribers. I don't do these videos for views. I make these videos because I enjoy making them. I enjoy the challenge of having to make a video every day and kind of like push the creativity. Like today when I'm in a time crunch and I only have like 15 minutes to film because I'm so busy that I gotta like really think about like what could I do that would be an interesting video that I wouldn't mind watching. And that's kind of how this whole channel started. Is it started off as videos, me making videos that I would like to watch. So, you know, the racing stuff, obviously I love to watch that. Some of the tech stuff, I love to watch that. I like watching build series on other people's channels, so that's where I kind of do it. Some fabrication stuff. I mean, I pretty much make this channel for me, and I put the videos out, and I think it's really cool, you know, 2 years down the road, 3 years down the road, you go back and watch and you're like, oh, I remember doing that. It's pretty cool. So for those of you guys that like to hate and stuff, the hating's welcome. You guys are still watching, so I can care less, but maybe you guys should understand that I'm not making the videos, not to be disrespectful by any way, but I'm not making the videos for you directly. I'm making the videos because I enjoy making them and I enjoy messing with this stuff, and I'm just documenting the journey. And I think once people understand that, then maybe they'll realize that, you know, this channel is not a 1320 video, and it's not a Cletus McFarland channel. This is just my life, and I record it. That's why the channel name is John Doc. That's me, and this is what we got going on. So I've been getting my ass whooped on the Stormwork lately, so I'm just trying to battle through it. It is the management side of it can be very difficult at times, and we're on the home stretch, hopefully. So I'm hoping by the end of this week, get through the weekend, which there's no days off with Stormwork, so I'm going to work all through the weekend. If we get through that, we can come in here Monday and be like full board working on shit would be my goal. So we know we got the Black Sheep coming together. We're going to talk about the Black Sheep a little bit today. The car has been running in a couple LDR classes, LDR races, and we're a little bit overweight. They've made some rule changes. The class itself is a badass class, very competitive. There's guys out there that are going 390s. I think there's guys out there that have the potential to go 380s and they just hold back and run 390s. The class, I think, was like original, and I'm not like the expert OG LDR guy, so don't blame me. This is just my interpretation of it. I'm pretty sure the class is like, it's been a 4.0 class for a long time, like a bottom, really 4.0 everywhere throughout there, and just lately they've really started getting heavy in the threes like every single time. So this, as of now, is not a 3-second car. I'd love for it to have the ability to go threes if needed, but it's just a little bit heavy and a little bit underpowered for needing to go threes. So we're going to try to hunt down a little bit more power, a little bit more efficient turbo, change the camshaft up. Kevin's working on like a new camshaft like dedicated to the solid roller stuff, because this is still the Black Sheep camshaft in there. And we're just trying to make some slight improvements. One improvement that we are making this year is the tires. So you guys know we run small tires and everything. This is the 295. This is the 275. We've been running on the 275 Radial Pro on literally every single car. Every car here except for the Pro Mod is on a 275 Pro. This is like the OG 275. When you think small tires, this is what everyone thinks about. The class used to allow both, and you'd get a weight break if you ran a 275. If you guys can see the difference here, I mean, just look at the height. The height difference is substantial. Also, the width, it don't look it right now, but all of these tires get stretched on a 14-inch wide rim, and what that does is it'll like stretch your contact patch out. This having the little bit bigger sidewall, when you put it on that 14-inch wide rim, it really, like, when you see this on a car compared to this, you're like, that is a humongous tire. And I think that we're going to see a couple benefits with this tire that hopefully lead us into more of that like consistent bottom O time frame, which is where I think we need to be. We need to be able to go out there in the heat of the day and go 406 in the heat of the day to qualify. And then when it gets really good at night, you need to be able to go 40 flat, 399. Obviously, we're pushing our combo to the max, but I feel like everybody in class racing, you are pushing your combo to the max. That's like the intent of it. It's not really, the class falls apart and people sandbag. And then people have the ability, to go 380s, and you got other guys going like flat out, going 4.0s, and they're just like holding back, going 399. There's a void there. This happens in every single form of racing. If I had the setup to do that, I would do the same. This is just how it goes. You have to understand the game that you're playing. But they do a really good job always making rule changes, trying to make it where everybody is competitive. I mean, think about how challenging that is. You get guys with, big block twin turbos. They got big nitrous motors. They got like screw-blown Hemis in there now. And you got to set it up where they get weight breaks and different weights, and if they got certain style suspension, and if they're on a different tire, to where they all run flat out. They all run about the same time. That's a very challenging thing to do. I think they do a great job of regulating it. I mean, look at X275. They almost run as fast of times as LDR. I don't ever want to mess with X. I don't have enough money to race an X. I'm not saying I have enough money to race an LDR, but I think that this car can be band-aided enough to maybe be competitive in there, and that's our goal. I don't want to go out there and race and not be competitive, but we're going to make the slight modifications to hopefully be more competitive. So this is like the tire change that we're doing. We're ditching the 275 Pro. Cars work really good on it, and we're going to the 295 65/15. So height-wise, this is a 28-inch tall tire, and this is, I think, like 30 or 30.5. So you're going to gain a little bit in the rollout. Should mile an hour faster. Should. The tire's bigger. Should provide more traction, being that it's a bigger tire. I'm hoping that on this tire we're able to be like faster, consistent 60-foots, because we would kind of get to where like we can't put any more power down, because like we're maximizing our suspension with what we have, and now like we're relying on the tire, and if the tire can't handle it, then you're done. You can't like do anything else to make your suspension better. You maximize it to 100% efficiency, and the rest is on the tire. So with this, if we can keep our suspension where it's like as efficient as possible, where we are, utilizing it, topping the shock out exactly where we need to, getting the right inches per second of travel, hopefully with this, we can get down to going those consistent, 101s, 102s. Now, we've been fast on the 275 Pro. We've been sub 1 second. We've been 0.99. But that is on like a perfect flypaper track, perfect air, track temperature's good, not in an LDR race. We've been like, I think like 104 or 106, somewhere in that range a bunch of times, which is good. But when you're talking about how tight the racing is, every single number counts. So hopefully by switching this tire up, we can pick up a little bit more in the 60-foot. We can let that carry over to a better 330 time, let that carry over to hopefully better ET. And then if we get a little bit more power with a little bit more efficient turbo, maybe a little bit better camshaft, spec specifically for the solid roller, maybe the stars can align and we can get this turd into like a 399 range, or like 4.0 consistent, because that's where it needs to be. If you look at the car and you look at like top of the line LDR cars, I don't mean to insult anyone by calling this an LDR car, because some of those cars, a lot of those cars are extremely nice. I mean, they are absolutely beautiful, powder coated chassis, carbon fiber everywhere. They are top of the line. This is like...
And you got the black sheep.
And then you got the black sheep. This is... It looks good on camera at the track. It looks good from the stands.
It's a good
but if
car.
you really like pick apart the cars and look at them, this thing here is... I mean, it is what it is. It was a no-time car. It was an old 10.5 Outlaw car that we set up to run on radials. We ran some no-time stuff with it. We got it fast, and now we're trying our hand to LDR. It's not a purpose-built limited drag radial car. It never will be. And that's where you kind of get in that dilemma. You're like, well, how much money do you spend in updating this thing to get it to be competitive in LDR, or is it cheaper just to go and build a new chassis? I mean, that's how much money we're talking about to be competitive. To drop, 200 pounds out of this thing and, fix the rear suspension stuff, and there's a lot. I mean, this thing's still got factory floors, factory firewall, still got headliner in it. It's got quarter glass. I mean, it doesn't have carbon doors. Doesn't have a carbon front end. We're working with what we got here. So I think that my goal this year, I know like someone was talking shit in yesterday's video, they're like, he ain't a racer, they just work on some cars and test and tune. I think a goal would be if we could get a win in an LDR race. I think that would be one goal. You got to walk before you could run. I think, am I getting ahead of myself by saying that? Want to win a race? Maybe we should like win a few rounds. I feel like winning a race. If you're winning a few rounds,
the race is completely out of the picture.
Yeah, you think we can do it?
You don't have to be the fastest car to win the whole race.
You don't have to be the fastest car. You gotta call the right shots at the right time.
Yeah.
So maybe I think winning an LDR race with this deal would be awesome for me. We've made some upgrades to it where I feel like it's better now. It's the best it's ever been. It'll never be a top of the line LDR chassis, so everyone get that out of their mind. But I think we could have a weapon if we play our cards right. So that's what we got here. We're going to make that tire change. As you guys can see, we are tucking tire right now. So the other tire is going to be a little bit, I'd say a little bit more balloony, not stretched as much because it's a little bit wider. So we run this same rim. This is RC Comp. I don't even know which one is. Some of them say on the, I guess the front say on them. This one doesn't. I don't know. This one's nice. It is a 15 by 14, so 15 inch in diameter, 14 inches wide, 4.5 inch backspace, double beadlock wheel, awesome wheels. I got them from Carter Motorsports. They work great. And this is our max low ride height. We can't go any lower because, again, some suspension issues, where the anti-roll bar hits the frame. We can't shove the anti-roll bar up anymore. We do have the ability to have 8 inches of usable shock travel, but we have it limited at 5 inches right now. So we're thinking about modifying a bracket to run a shorter top bar. Hopefully that would allow us to get our full extension. If we can get that, then I really think that this suspension change paired with the tire, paired with a more efficient turbo, just some little changes, staying in budget with what we have going on, could get us competitive in LDR. So that's our plan. We're planning to run some LDR with it. The downside to going with that tire is it kind of puts you out of a lot of no time or small tire events here local because they don't consider that a 28-275.
Hear me out. You don't really need to bring this anyway.
Don't need to bring this anyway? Oh, we'll just take Slick Rick instead?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, well that works. We'll put this on just strict LDR. There will be a lot of testing with this. We're going to be trying some new things to get as fast as we can, and a lot of heat of the day testing because that's where it's important. You got to be able to get down heat of the day. We did a really good job down in Georgia. I think it was like the second or third qualifying pass. We were like one of two cars to make it down in the heat of the day, and there was like 30 cars in the field. So that's important. And we didn't go down with like a 440. We went down with I think like a 416.
I think it was 16.
Yeah, 416 at like 180 miles an hour. So we were getting after it, and it's important because that first round, you got to think, you got to be very strategic with this. That first round you're going to have is going to be in the heat of the day. So you got to have your heat of the day tune up right. So I'm excited. We're going to do some other upgrades in here. As you can see, the stock crusty ass floors are just chilling forever. We are going to put a Race Tech seat in this guy, which I'm very excited about. And then we have a few converters that we're going to try. So we got a Circle D converter that we're going to test out in this thing and see if, I know we can go faster. It's just going to be how soon we can get it to go faster and how soon I'm going to put that converter in here. So that's what we got. There's your Black Sheep update. There's your racing update. There's your LDR update. With how much work we have right now, it's looking like next week is going to be a little bit more realistic to getting Slick Rick to the dyno. Hope you guys can understand that. And that's going to wrap it up. It's my birthday, so I'm going to edit the shit out of this video really quick, upload it, get back to doing the storm work that I have to do, and try to get done with today as fast as I can. So thank you guys so much for watching. Like always, comment, like, subscribe. Don't forget, we got that rodeo training here for storm work on February 4th at 9 o'clock. If you guys are interested, the first link in the description below will be an event page flyer. See you guys there.